like, he was cute, and it was like, but did someone then?
What? This place is very, very, very cool. Okay, we're having like a dinner party right now. Out of all of the countries, which country was the most dangerous, you think? Oh, they were all okay.
I mean, like, I probably came the closest to having an issue in Guatemala.
Guatemala?
Yeah, like
what happened?
As soon as I crossed the border, I realized that we were being followed.
By who? Cartels?
By this truck. Yeah. So basically, there was this. So once you enter Guatemala, like the car, everything in Guatemala is a Toyota pickup truck from the 1980s or 1990s. Yeah. Like every single vehicle is a Toyota pickup truck, pretty much.
Why?
Guatemala, every single car is a Toyota
trucks.
pickup truck.
Yeah, they're cheap, and they're all from America.
Yeah, exactly. So they just they work on those cars. They know how to fix them, and so that's what they are. So yeah, basically,
what happened?
As soon as I got across the border, there was this Toyota pickup truck. That, I mean, everything was like, all the windows were tinted, including the front windshield. The front windshield was tinted black. You couldn't even tell if there was like a robot or a human driving it. And so every single time we would kind of stop, they would stop behind us. And I'm telling Josh, who's like this like more experienced traveler, he just thinks I'm like paranoid.
Following Dave, like, look at that guy. Skinny Americans, look at that.
Yeah.
Not cool. Maybe he thinks my truck is cool.
Yeah. No, so like basically Josh was like, oh David, you're being paranoid, whatever.
Like, yeah, okay.
And so I'm
What
like, no,
happened?
this is the same exact truck. This is not some like different one.
Yeah.
And so we were gonna just guerrilla camp on the side of the road somewhere because like we had no other place to stay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we passed the town that they told us about where we should, hang out. And like, I don't want to have this truck follow us while we go guerrilla camp on the side of the highway.
Mm-hmm.
So I convinced him to turn around, and we turned around, went back to there was a little store in the town that we passed.
Yeah.
And as we're talking to the little tienda owner, I see this truck kind of just do parallels, like he was a cop car, just going back and forth, Exactly, And so, finally he just left because he realized that we were like surrounded by a bunch of people.
Okay.
And so basically we just made friends with the entire town, and we slept on the soccer fields, and they were telling us about how they had this like, patrol that they did, like a community-based patrol.
Nice.
And and then we got invited to this little restaurant, and they just gave us free food, and they're like, they just hooked it up.
So what do you think was following you guys?
I think he just wanted to rob us. I think he was just like, oh yeah, clearly Americans.
But you're on a bicycle?
Yeah.
So he could have like just went in front of you guys. He'll be like way faster.
Well, I think he wanted to wait till we were like maybe like off the beaten path.
So that no one could see.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, maybe according to Catherine, hanky panky as well.
Hanky panky? Okay, that's weird.
So that was, I feel like that was like the closest encounter. But I had some friends that got into some shit in El Salvador.
Yeah, we're at El Salvador and Honduras. Yeah.
But it depends on what side you go on. If you go on if you go on the western side, apparently it's more chill.
Okay.
But that depends. I mean, things could have changed in the last, 5-6 years.
Okay.
It's like things are always kind of changing, and you're talking to locals and figuring out kind of like what's going on. I mean, to me, that's like the best, thing you can do. As far as
I'm gonna look for locals.
Just talking. Talking to locals.
Yeah.
And then my rule that I always go by is, as far as sleeping somewhere, either make sure no one knows like where you are and where you're sleeping, like no one at all, or everybody in the fucking town knows your name, where you're from, and what you're doing.
So they were just asking for money for everyone, and in the back of the bus they saw them, and they were blonde as they can be, Dutch, him and her, and they were like, oh, wait a second, we have some foreigners over here. So they returned all the money back.
Really?
So they didn't get a bad idea about the country.
Yeah. And that's
Okay.
they're very proud of their country, and that's what they like. Foreigners, they want to help you because they want to show you they're such a good country, and oh, you're coming, because a lot of Americans don't travel.
I agree.
There.
Yeah.
And a lot of even foreigners, a lot of people, like you see a lot of Dutch, a lot of Swiss, Germans.
Yeah.
But for such a large country that is awesome as Mexico is, it's not like that heavily tourist. So when people are going there, they're excited to see them and help them. And I want to help you. And Mexicans themselves, there's a lot of, like I talked about, all those motorcycle groups, they travel a lot.
Yeah.
And take pride in their country. And so that's a really cool story. They're like, oh shit, we're assholes. No, it's all right, guys. Here's your money back. Enjoy your trip.
Probably more.
And border here a long time.
My dad's from
Middle schools when you came?
What if?
So this is going to be on the second page. So this is like first page, second page, Star Wars.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Do I have to find all the letters? And I've never been a teacher, but my kids go to what is basically rated as one of the best elementary schools in the state of Texas.
Wait, what is this?
SpaceX, you know, Elon Musk and Tesla. He has his own space company now. And NASA, for their budget, NASA will pay SpaceX to take their rockets and have NASA astronauts and NASA cargo in a SpaceX shuttle to launch the SpaceX shuttle to the International Space Station to deliver cargo, drop off astronauts, and come back. Because at this point in time, NASA doesn't have their own shuttle, but they are in the process now of making one.
Okay.
So SpaceX is basically like the taxi service for NASA. Down here, you'll just see the big plane flying.
I've never seen this
And he says,
ever.
yeah, and then he explained to me what they do, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. I've never seen it flying with the shuttle on the top, but the big plane itself will send back and forth pretty frequently down here.
Oh my god.
And what he says, like the International Space Station is divided up, is agreements between Russia has a section, America has a section, and the EU has a section. And right now there's, I think, some Japanese astronauts there, and they're like, they had to get an agreement with the American or the EU side to be on their side of the International Space Station. And it's all separate because like they're running experiments and studies that are, you know, private information that they don't want necessarily others to know about. But Ivan says like all the astronauts really get along, and it's all this like camaraderie. And I asked him one time, because there are some female astronauts, and he made a joke because he has to talk to them sometimes in space. And I was like, what's it like for like the female astronauts up there? Like, and he's like, oh, I bet they get their choice of like, because there's like one or two women and like a bunch of men.
Wow.
They were shipping a bunch of fresh apples, and I was like, wait,
Really?
launching a thing into space just filled with apples, like, and you're talking of how much, like millions of dollars it costs to launch this.
Should we just sit here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. And he's like, we do this every once in a while. And he said, like, they do all the math and calculations that every once in a while, because some of these astronauts are out there for like years, that morale gets low and they start complaining, and they know one of the things that makes them feel good when they're out there in like space and stuff is fresh fruit and fresh produce. But you can't just send a bunch of fresh stuff up there because it rots and it goes bad and then there's a problem. So they were all excited about getting this launch because the astronauts would have fresh apples, and he says after they get that, they can see like productivity increases, and they like the astronauts get less surly and they stop like being argumentative, and like things calm down because they got their apples. And I was like, what?
Wow, that's crazy.
He's like, yeah. So I just imagine like the shuttle just filled with
Hi everybody,
apples.
welcome to the NASA Tram Tour. I will be your host. My name is Raven, and your driver will be Ronald. A former director of JSC, George Abbey, came across an old photo of these cattle and worked with the local school district to develop the Longhorn Project, in which local school children come and teach these cows to jump over the moon. Just kidding. They actually come here and learn agriculture, farming, and science. SFA programs come here in the morning before school starts and check up on their cattle before going back to school for the rest of the day. Right around this corner, you will see two rockets. The smaller of the two is the Mercury Redstone, which they converted intercontinental ballistic missile, which flew Alan Shepard on his historic 50-minute space flight, making him the first American in space and the second human in space. This was in response to the Soviet Union's Yuri Gagarin being the first human in space.
They strap themselves to the walls so they don't float away. It's a sleeping bag.
Like upright?
Which in space, when it's spinning, you can't tell if you're upside down or what. You're always. But otherwise, they're floating around, so they strap themselves in, and they strap themselves to a toilet. Otherwise, you float up, and you hook that up to your. So you pee into the tube because otherwise.
STD flight 875, please.
Am I going right now? I look terrible like this, like a space woman. I could work at NASA or something.
Well, that's what it takes.
I know, yeah. Okay, thank you guys so much. Oh.
Well, thanks for coming.
No, thank you for having me. You guys have been like really inspirational and helpful. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
You'll love Mexico. Just take it easy and just remember, just go like this and go.
I don't know anything. No hablo español. Okay, bye guys. I'm scared. I don't want to go. Okay, today we are going to San Antonio. I had an amazing 3 days with Catherine and Redeem. They've been the most gracious hosts ever, and not to mention they're crazy inspirational. Like Redeem has traveled for 4 years on his motorcycle around the world. Ooh, that's bad. Okay. Oops. Okay, I should not have done that. And the only continent he has left is Africa. Catherine is like me. Like, she has only been riding for 2 years, and she has traveled through Mexico on a motorcycle. So cool. So inspirational. Like before this, I was actually getting a little scared of crossing to Mexico, but after talking to them, I feel way better. Yeah, so thank you, Catherine and Radim, for everything.